In the self-improvement space, discipline is something that is talked about all the time from loads of different YouTubers, and it's something that's kind of seen as a necessary requirement. And something interesting about discipline is that pretty much every single fad diet, new business trend, new technique or biohacking, or anything that is related to improving your life and improving yourself and doing things to the optimal, whether that's productivity or the best diet that you could possibly eat for productivity, kind of like the carnivore video that I did a few weeks ago where I talked about the carnivore diet and my experience with it and how it's optimal for productivity. Well, all of these kind of fads and techniques and insights into optimizing your life and improving yourself is all built on a foundation, and that foundation will collapse if you do not have discipline, because all of the techniques and optimizations that you've heard online from people like me or bigger YouTubers just basically rely on the fact that you're going to take action on that thing and do that thing, and that literally just requires discipline. And if you don't have discipline, you're going to be one of these people that start the latest trending diet that's guaranteed to make you lose all your body fat and get into the best shape of your life, but it only guarantees that if you actually do the diet, and that requires discipline. The truth is, any diet in the world will work. If you are in a calorie surplus, you will gain weight, and if you are in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. And any diet that puts you into a calorie deficit, if you want to lose weight, for example, will work. It just won't work if you don't have discipline. So in this video, I just want to basically talk to you about my understanding of discipline and how I have basically been in like eternal combat with discipline my whole life, and just going backwards and forwards between being super disciplined and super on it and just falling back into old bad habits and becoming undisciplined. And I think there is a bell curve here. I think that if you have no discipline, then you of course not going to get anywhere in life, because any of the promises that you set for yourself, any of the things that you say you want to do, you're not going to take action on them. You're not going to have the discipline to do it. If you want to lose weight and get fit and healthy, then you'll say to yourself, I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to eat less junk food. But if you have no discipline at this bottom of the graph, then you're not going to be able to do it. Whereas as discipline increases, so does your quality of life, essentially, because you become more trustworthy with yourself. So if you can set promises and goals for yourself, you are just more trustworthy because you're disciplined and you actually go ahead and achieve those things. You say that I'm going to go for a walk every day for the next 12 months, right? For the next year, I'm going to walk every day, make sure I go for at least one walk a day. If you can be disciplined and keep that promise to yourself, it's going to build up self-trust, and that is going to build up self-confidence. And that is going to allow you just to be able to achieve more things and set bigger and bigger goals. But the reason I say it's a bell curve is because as you start to reach the peak of discipline, the sort of middle bit of discipline and the peak of the curve, any more discipline added on there, actually I think might start to degrade your quality of life, because then you almost become far too reliant on discipline and not reliant enough on actually wanting to do things. So for example, if you wanted to set up a new business and you wanted to set up a business in the most highly exploding niche right now, it would probably be something on the lines of AI. And if you were to set up a business in AI and you were knowledgeable on that topic, you could make a lot of money and have a successful business. But if you really didn't like AI and didn't care about AI, but you were very, very disciplined and you just did it anyway because you knew logically that it was the right decision and it was going to yield the most return on investment, then you could be very, very, very disciplined and just make a big business and work on some project related to AI that you don't even care about and you don't even really want to work on. You kind of hate working every day, but you just do it anyway because you know that it's going to make you a lot of money. Let's say that, for example. In that respect, having more discipline has lowered quality of life because now you're working on something that you hate working on, but you're very disciplined, so you just do it anyway because you've made that promise to yourself, if that makes sense. And the same can be said for people who are so disciplined. And, you know, this is even kind of what I've been a bit like recently in the last few months, is I've become so disciplined, you know, relative to what I was. You know, really, I'm probably only as disciplined as most YouTubers are, but I was so undisciplined before that now I'm so disciplined that I will say to my friends when they want to meet up, you know, I can't because I'm working tonight on the YouTube. And that has come at the detriment of me meeting my friends and some of my social connections. And, you know, my friendship with a lot of my old friends has suffered because of that, and I've not seen them. And that is just down to me being more disciplined. And I wouldn't say that's necessarily lowered my quality of life, but it may have impacted it slightly, yeah, for sure. So 100%, I think discipline's a bell curve. I think there's a sweet spot of discipline. I think being hyper disciplined is gonna maybe be good in the short term for getting things off the ground, but maybe not in the long term. Maybe that will start to come at the detriment of other aspects of your life, like your relationships and your creativity and just general like health really. But being super undisciplined is the opposite, and you know, you'll end up having a very comfortable life. And you know, when we stay in comfort, the human body isn't meant to be in comfort, right? We're animals at the end of the day, and we're designed to be constantly challenging ourselves and adapting, because that's how we survive. If we end up really comfortable, our brains inherently know that something's wrong and that we're far too comfortable. And you know, this how a lot of people get depressed, is because they're just super comfortable, staying in the house and playing video games and eating whatever they want, and they get so comfortable that they actually just develop depression. So really, I want to talk to you about how do you become more disciplined, because I'm going to be honest, I talked about the bell curve and how, you know, there's a sweet spot, but I'm willing to bet that 99% of the population is on the left side of the bell curve, i.e. low discipline to medium, and 1% are maybe needing to chill out a bit and have way too disciplined, right? Maybe that's the case. I would think it is. So I'm going to basically talk to you about how I've managed to become more disciplined. Like, what have I done? What mental frameworks have I employed to become more disciplined? And I'm just going to describe a couple of methods that I've used, and these are kind of the ones, there's loads of methods out there, right? You can look them up, but these are the ones that have just personally helped me, especially growing this YouTube channel and having to contend with becoming a lot more disciplined, because there's a kind of an overburdening pressure to be consistent on YouTube. So I've had to become more disciplined in myself to meet up with that threshold. So the first thing that I did, that I learned from Hamza, which has helped me, is to keep my bedroom tidy. And now you might be thinking, well, that's silly. I mean, I tidy my bedroom all the time, or maybe you don't. And well, how's that going to lead to discipline? You know, I need to be more disciplined in business. I don't need to be disciplined in cleaning my room. Well, I'll just explain it. If you have an untidy room, right, you know, you turn around and your bin's overflowing with rubbish and banana skin peels, and your desk has got crap all over it, and car keys and headphones, and you know, you've got an old mouse that doesn't work, that's just tucked behind the monitor, and then you look to your right and your bed's a mess. You know, you woke up this morning and flung the covers off and they're still just flung off like that. You kind of end up becoming what Hamza calls a messy bedroom entrepreneur. So this is someone who's working on a business, maybe making some money online, maybe a YouTuber, but you have a messy bedroom. And a messy bedroom entrepreneur, it's like how you do the small things in life is often how you do the big things in life. So if someone has a really messy bedroom that's unkept and dirty, it says a lot about how they're going to be able to manage their discipline levels. And one way you can just increase your discipline is just by making little promises to yourself. And how I kind of said at the start of the video, that discipline is about making promises to yourself and keeping them, as if you yourself is a separate person, and you kind of said to them, you know, we are going to clean our room today, and then you kind of don't. That person isn't going to trust you anymore. One analogy that I really like is, imagine if you had a friend who you invited out for some dinner, right? And they showed up late one day for the dinner, 10 minutes late, and you think nothing of it. And then the next meal, they show up 20 minutes late, and the next meal, they show up an hour late. And then the meal after that, they don't show up at all. And they did this 3, 4, 5 times. Eventually, you would stop inviting that friend out for a meal because they just don't turn up and they don't text you back or anything, right? You would lose trust in them and you wouldn't invite them out anymore. And if you think of yourself as your own friend, right? If you make promises to yourself, I'm going to do this thing, I'm disciplined, I'm going to do this, and then you just don't do it, then you kind of lose trust in yourself, you lose a bit of respect in yourself, and you kind of lose that self-confidence. So one easy way we can just build up trust, i.e. discipline, back into ourselves and make ourselves trust us again, is to just make a promise to make our bedroom tidy and to make the bed in the morning and to empty the bin so it's not overflowing and, you know, there's just crap flying out of the bin all over the place, and, you know, clean up the dust from everywhere because there's always dust flying about in the room, and I just clean the room, get it so it's not dusty anymore. You know, if you make those little promises to yourself and you act on those promises and you keep them and you do it that day, then you're just building up trust in yourself, you're building up confidence. And, you know, that you can just take that then from a micro level and you can start expanding it out to the macro. I will film a video today. I will film 3 videos this week. Make that promise to yourself and go do it. I will not cheat on my diet this week. I want to get fit and healthy. I don't like the way I look in the mirror. I want to change that way, the way that I look. I want to change it. So I'm going to do the things, and I promise that I'm not going to cheat on my diet because that's how I'm going to get there. And then that is how you start building up trust with yourself, and that is discipline. And the second method that is maybe a bit more tangible for some of you, and I've mentioned it before, is cold showers. I mean, cold showers is the way to build up some serious mental discipline. Especially now in the UK, we're getting into the winter months and it's super fucking cold outside. I wake up and it's so cold. I don't want to get out of bed and I really don't want to get in the cold shower, but I do it anyway, and it's horrible and I hate doing it. But every day I do it, and I promised to myself that I would do it every day. And I'm not going to lie to you, I have lost a little bit of discipline in the last couple of weeks because I have not been taking cold showers nearly as much as I said I would be. And that has really knocked my kind of self-image, like thinking, shit, I said I could do that. And I'm making a video on discipline right now. I said I could do that and I kind of haven't done it. So just literally right now talking about it, I'm thinking, right, let's get back on that. Let's take the cold shower. I like taking the cold showers. It makes me feel awake, makes me feel alive for the morning. It just makes me feel way better in the morning. It gives a long and steady release of dopamine early in the day, which is great for when I want to do work on videos and stuff. So let's do that cold shower. It's beneficial. It's a high ROI activity and I want to do it, but it takes discipline. It's hard to do. And the more and more you do it and you can keep that promise to yourself, especially with something like cold showers that are so uncomfortable but so time effective, they don't take long to do, it is just such a great way of building up discipline. I hope that helps you understand discipline a little bit more and some of the ways that I think you can improve your discipline and have more discipline. And just improve yourself by 1% every day and you'll get there. See ya.